So yesterday we have seen how to work with different data types. So we are working with complex numbers. So there is a complex data type and you can use this data type to represent the complex numbers. So generally a complex number consists of two values. So a complex number consists of two values. One is the real and there's one more value which is called as imaginary. So it consists of two values. One is a real and one more is a imaginary. Okay. And this is a syntax of writing a complex number. How you are writing a complex number is real plus imaginary value. And this is a imaginary value is suffixed with what here? J. This imaginary value is suffixed with the J. So what is this exactly? See, complex numbers are used in certain applications. Okay, for example, I said, assume that I want to find the square roots. Best example is square roots or quadratic equations. Okay. For example, square root of 9. Square root of 9 is represented as what here? 3. But when you get the quadratic equation result in negative like minus 9, now this is represented as what? 3i. So this 3i is called as which number here? Complex number. So in mathematics, so the complex number is suffixed with the character called which one? I. But when it comes to Python, you represent this by using a suffix as what? J. Okay, so you're writing C1 equal to 1 plus 2j. Okay, C1 equal to 1 plus 2j. Then what is the type of C1 here? Complex. C2. So what will happen when you write here C1 equal to 1 plus 2j? I said complex number is having two attributes. I said complex number is having two attributes. So whenever you create a complex number, okay, your complex number is created. Okay, the complex number is created. So this is a complex number object. So this is nothing but which object here? Complex object. And this complex number is created with how many attributes here? Two attributes. So the first attribute is the real and second attribute is what here? Imaginary. The value of real is 1.0. The value of imaginary is 2.0. And what is the name of this object here? C1. What is the name of the object? C1. And it is also immutable. It is also immutable. You cannot you cannot modify the values of this object. It is also immutable. You cannot modify values of this object. So if you want to read these individual values, you can read it by saying you can say C1 dot. If you want to read the value of real, you can say C1 dot real. If I'm saying C1 dot real, I'll get a real value. So here the value of real is 1.0. If I'm saying C1 dot imaginary, then I'll get which value here? Imaginary value. And the value of imaginary is what here? 2.0. So it means you can read even this real and imaginary values by writing here C1 dot real and C1 dot is called member access. Here dot is called which one? Member access. You are accessing one member of complex number or one attribute of complex number. What is that attribute you are accessing it? Imaginary and real. You are accessing imaginary and real. You are accessing imaginary and one more is real value. Okay. Yes. But it is immutable. Okay. Now this is get the imaginary. But if I'm trying to say C1 dot real, I'm trying to modify. What I'm doing, I'm trying to modify the value of real. What I'm doing, I'm modifying the value of which one? Real. Real value, I'm modifying it. But can I modify the value of real here? No, I cannot modify it. If I'm trying to modify it, it will give error saying that attribute error, read only attribute. Means after creating a complex number, I cannot modify the values of real and what? Imaginary. Because this real and imaginary, this both are what? Read only. I can read the values, but I cannot change the values. I can read the values, but I cannot change the values. Yeah, you have to remember this. I can read the values, but I cannot change the values. If you are trying to change it, so that leads to what? Syntax errors. So you can also represent complex number. You can also represent complex number. You can also represent complex number like this. For example, I'm saying C2 equal to some 3J. What I write here, C2 equal to 3J. So 3J, this is which value here? Imaginary value. Okay, this is which value here? Imaginary value. Now C2. So it is a complex number, but I have given only which value? Imaginary value. So what will happen here is, it will create a complex number. Now this is nothing but C2. Okay, C2 equal to what here? 3J. C2 equal to 3J. So what will happen? It will create a complex number. What will happen? It will create a complex number object. Now this is which object here? C2 object. And this is complex number and created with how many attributes? Two attributes. One is a real, but the value of real is 0.0. The value of imaginary is what? 3.0. Because here 3J represents which value? Imaginary value. But are you given the value of real? No, the value of real is not given. Then what is the default real value? 0.0. If I write here C2 dot real, the value of real is 0.0. If I say C2 dot imaginary, the value of imaginary is 3.0. So you are trying to read, okay, individual values C2 dot real and C2 dot what is that? Imaginary. If you print directly C2, so it is printed only which value? Imaginary value. Because the default real is what here? 0.0. So Python provide three types of numeric data types. So Python provide three types of numeric data types. One is three types of numeric data types. One is integer, second one is float, and third one is complex. So integer number, real number, and one more is a complex number. So there is one more data type you have, that is Boolean data type. So which is nothing but bool. So there is a data type called which one? Bool data type. So this data type represents, yes. So this data type, okay, this data type represents Boolean values. This data type represents Boolean values. In Python, Boolean values are represented using two keywords. Using two keywords. One is a true, and second one is what here? False. In Python, Boolean values are represented using two keywords. One is a true and one more is a false. And even Boolean is also constant. Boolean also constant. Boolean also constants. Constant whose value is what here never changed. Boolean also constant and this value is never changed. So how you are representing Boolean values using two keywords? So one is a true and one more is a false. So where exactly this Boolean values are used? Generally, Booleans are used to represent certain things. Like for example, I'm reading the details of some student. So student is having roll number. So assume that roll number is 1. Then roll number 1 and student is having the fees. The fees is 4,000 dot is 0. It means roll number is of which type? Okay, roll number is of which type? Integer type. Okay, roll number is of which type? Integer type. Then fees is of which type? Float type. Roll number is of which type? Integer type. And fees is of which type here? Float type. So there is one more variable which is called as fee paid. So I'll say fee paid equal to what? True. So here 1 is a value of which one? Integer. 4,000 is the value of which one? Float. And true is also a value. Here true is also value. But true is a value of which type here? Boolean type. So it means you are trying to represent some logical values. Logical values. It means generally Boolean types are used for representing Boolean expressions or conditions. Boolean expression. Generally Boolean data types. Boolean data types are used to represent which expressions? Boolean expressions. Okay. Boolean data types are used to represent which expression? Boolean expression. What is Boolean expression? An expression which returns Boolean value. So there is arithmetic expression. What is arithmetic expression? The expression which contain arithmetic operators. For example, plus is there. Plus is which operator? Arithmetic operator. So when you write 10 plus 20, what is the result? I'll get 30. So Boolean expression is an expression which is created using relational operators. For example, if you are saying 10 is greater than 20. So what is the result of 10 is greater than 20? False. What is the result here? False. So what is this 10 is greater than 20? It is one expression. It is one expression. And it is which expression here? Boolean expression. This is one expression. But this is which expression here? Arithmetic expression. This is a Boolean expression and this is what here? Arithmetic. So where you are trying to perform arithmetic operations, and here you are trying to perform which operations? Boolean operations like 10 is greater than 20. No. So what it is returning here? False. So Boolean values are two keywords. Booleans are represented using two keywords. One is a true and one more is what here? False. One is a true and one more is a false. In true, T is capital. In false, F is also capital. So that is where it differentiate the normal keywords with what values. Okay, normal keywords, all keywords are in lowercase, but except three keywords like true, false, and one more is none. Except three keywords, true, false, and one more is none. In true, false, none, first letter is in which one? Capital. Why? Because this doesn't represent instructions. This represents what here? Values. So true is a value, false is also what here? Value. Okay. Yes. So now just try to see here. So booleans, but internal representation of, yes. For example, I'm saying x1, x1 equal to true, x1 equal to true, and x2 equal to what here? False. So type of x1 is boolean, and type of x2 is again what here? Boolean. The value of x1 is a true, the value of x2 is what here? False. But can I write x3 equal to true? So what is the value of x3 here? True. Is it this true is represented as value or variable? Variable. Okay, because in true t must be capital or not? Yes. In true t must be what here? Capital. But is it in true, is it t is a capital here? No. Then it gives what here? Error. So what is that error? Name error. I said already, when you get the name error, when you get this name error, if this is identifier, is it true is identifier or value? Identifier. Is it this true is identifier or value? Value. Okay, suppose if I'm writing x4 equal to 10, 10 is a value or identifier? Value. 10 is a value. But if I'm saying x5 equal to underscore 10, is it underscore 10 is a value or identifier? Identifier. Because identifier is prefixed with what? Underscore. So in this case, is it gives an error or not? Yes. What is that error? Name error. So it means there is no variable called what? 10. So you have to give in the case in which it is available. You have to give in the case in which it is available. Okay, Python, I said Python is a case sensitive and it finds the difference between uppercase letters and what? Lowercase letters. Both are not same. Both are not same. So in Python, booleans are not represented as integers. For example, if you are working with a C language, you represent booleans with 0 and 1. Suppose in C language, if you want to represent boolean value, you will say B1 equal to 0. In C language, 0 indicates what here? False. In C language, now here 0 indicates what here? False. 0 indicate false. If I'm saying B2 equal to 1, and this 1 indicates what here? True. But in Python, 0, 1 are true, false? No. 0, 1 are which type? 0, 1 are which type? Integer type. So B1 is of which type? Integer. And B2 is of which type? Integer. So B1 is an integer and B2 also which type? Integer. Now, you don't represent booleans in Python with zeros and ones, but you represent booleans in Python with what? Two keywords. One is a true and one more is a false. But this is useful when you are representing which expressions? Boolean expressions are logical conditions. Boolean expressions are logical conditions. Those are two different variables here. Those are two different variables. Okay. All values, how it will store in one location here? How all values will be stored in one location? Okay. Yes. So there is an attribute called real. There is an attribute called real. There is an attribute called imaginary. So there is a separate space allocated for real and imaginary, right? So it means will it have the same address or two different addresses? Different addresses only. Okay. Now this is the complex number. This is having one address and this is having one address and this is having one address. Okay. So how all the values will be stored in one location here? Huh? How all the values will be stored in one location? All the values will not be stored in one location. Okay. So that is a base address here. That is a base address. It is not getting the address of real and imaginary. That is getting the base address. It is not get the address of imaginary and real. That is base address. That is the base address here. That is a base address. See, it is just like a data structure. You cannot get the real address and imaginary address here. Okay. Cannot get the real and imaginary address. Okay. That is a base address of the complex number. Okay. See, complex number is having so many attributes. Don't think that you'll get this only, right? You cannot get the individual addresses. Complex number is one value only. One value. If you get two different addresses, you might think that okay, it is a two different objects. That's the reason it will show you one address. That is not an address of real and imaginary. That is not an address of real and imaginary. Okay. What is your doubt? Velugonda. See, Jupyter is interactive mode. See, this is interactive mode only. This is interactive mode. If you check IDs, no use. This is interactive mode only. This is interactive mode. Okay, working with Jupyter is nothing but working in which mode? Interactive mode. So that is nothing but shell. Okay, then you cannot don't check IDs. Here you don't check IDs. Okay, here you don't check any IDs. Okay, right. Okay, now next is now this is how you are working with Boolean values. That's the reason I'll say if you want to check the IDs or addresses, work in programming mode. Okay, I'm saying x equal to true, and y equal to true. If you want to check the IDs, you write a program. Try to write a program and execute it. ID of x and y. Okay, C1 equal to 1 plus 2j and C2 equal to 1 plus 2j and print ID of x. So if you want to check the IDs, please don't do in interactive mode. Write a program and then check. Okay, yes. Write a program and then check. So once you run this, now you can see. Okay, now what I went here, I try to print ID of C1 and ID of which one? C2 here. Now you can see these are address of this one and this is address of this one, right? Even I said the float also, F1 equal to 1.5, F2 equal to 1.5 and print ID of F1 and print ID of F2. Okay. So is it same address or different address? Same address. So in interactive mode, you'll be working with a Python shell, and that Python shell doesn't provide all the features. So I said you that, okay, doesn't provide all the features. You write one program and then execute it. You write one program and then execute. Don't do in interactive mode. So interactive mode is nothing but working with one tool. What is that tool here? Shell. So working with one tool which comes with the Python software. And what is that Python? What is that tool is? Shell. I said no, shell is nothing but is a tool. REPL. REPL means read, evaluate, and print. It will read the command and evaluate it and then print it. Okay, where you cannot write programs also. Where you cannot write programs. Okay, yes. So there is one more data type. There is one more data type. There is one more data type. Now, these are basics. And there is one more data type which is called as none type. So the name of the data type itself is what? None type. The name of the data type itself is what? None type. So what is this none? Okay, none type. Okay. So generally, none type, none type is used to represent which values? None values. To represent which value? None value. None value. What you are representing here? None value by using which data type? None data type. But where you represent this none values? See here, none data type is used to represent which value? None value. None data type is used to represent which value? None value. Okay, none value is, suppose, for example, in application development, suppose assume that, suppose when you're working with the data science, if you are working with the data science, assume that this is MS Excel. Okay, MS Excel is a database or not? Yes. MS Excel is a database. Now where I'm trying to input some values. Okay, 10, 20, assume that these are some sales. Assume that this is a year and this is a year and this is a sales. This is a year and this is what year? Sales. Okay, now this is an year. 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, like this. Now all these are called as which one year? Year. And this you can call it as what year? Sales. Okay, there is a year and there is what year? Sales. Okay, there is a year and there is a sales. So it is like this. Okay, there is a year and there is a sales. So it is like this. Okay. Now assume that there is a year 2002 and sales is not there. Sales is not there. Okay, there is a year 2005, sales is not there. Okay. Okay, assume that this data I load in Python program. What I'm doing, I'm loading this data in which program? Python program. I'm loading this data in which program? Python program. Then it will load all this data, all the sales it will load in the Python program. But there is a sales for 1999, 2000, 2001. But there is no sales for which one? 2002. There is no sales for which one? 2002. Then how this data is represented in Python? Okay, there is a sales in 1999. So what is the sales in 1999? 50,000. What is the sales in 2000? 60,000. What is the sales in 2001? 80,000. But how this empty value is represented in Python? How this empty value is represented in Python? None. How this empty value is represented in Python? None. None means what? No value. None means what here? No value. There is no null. There is only none. So in Python, this none represented as missing values. Okay. In Python, this none values are represented as what? Missing values. Okay. There is a value missing in what? 2002. There is a value missing in what? 2005. There is a value missing in 2002. There is a value missing in what? 2005. So none values are nothing but no value. If there is no value, that is represented as what? None. Okay. Yes, none. Empty values. Empty values are represented. Okay. This is very much useful. So none type is used to represent none value. None is a keyword. Okay, actually none is a keyword which represent okay no value. Okay, no value. It is not a null. It is not a null, but in some other languages you call it as null. But here it is what? None. So none is a keyword which represent no value or empty value. Empty value or missing values. Empty value or what? Missing value. Empty value or missing value. Empty value or missing value. None is a keyword which represents no value or empty value or missing value. Which represent no value or empty value or missing value or missing value. Suppose if I'm writing here, suppose if I'm writing some x equal to none. So if I'm writing type of x is of which type here? None type. X is of which type here? None type. And y equal to, again I'm saying none. And if I'm saying type of y, y is again which type? None type. If I print x, is it printed anything? If I print x, is it printed anything? No. If I print y, is it printed anything? No. For example, if I'm saying a equal to 10, if I print a, what is the value of a? 10. Okay, b equal to 20, what is the value of b? 20. But if I'm writing x, is it printing anything? No. If I'm saying y, is it printing anything? No. Why? Because no value. X is none. None means no value or not. Empty value. None represents what here? Empty value. Okay, none represents empty value. Okay, now that is none type. So none type is used to represent okay empty values, right? So this is how it is. For example, yes. The next one is it is also constant. Okay, it is also constant. None type. Okay, none type is also non-type is constant. Is a constant whose value is never changed. None type is a constant whose value is never changed. So because these are the keywords, all these are what here? Keywords. And the values of these keywords are, yes, these are the keywords. All these are what here? Keywords. All these are keywords. Okay, now, right. The next one is, there is one more type. There's one more type which is called as string. STR data type. So we have seen how to represent numbers. We have seen how to represent numbers. Now we'll try to see how to represent string. How to represent string. We have seen representing of numbers. Now we'll try to see representation of which one? Strings, right? Now what is a string? What is string? A string is a collection of, a string is collection of what? Characters. What is a string? A string is a collection of characters. And these characters can be, alphabets. These characters can be alphabets, digits, or special characters. The string the string consists of alphabets, only alphabets is called alphabetic string. Is called alphabetic string. The string consists of alphabets, okay, and digits. Alphabets and digits is called alphanumeric string. Is called alphanumeric string. The string which consists of only alphabets is called alphabetic string. The string consists of alphabets and digits are called alphanumeric strings. And string is a sequence data type. String is a sequence data type, or it is what? Collection type. Because string contain one character or more than one character, more than one character. So string is which data type here? Sequence data type, or it is also called which one? Collection. So collection types. Okay, list is a collection, set is a collection, and string is also what here? Collection. It is also called as which data type? Sequence data type. Because is a string contain one character or more than one character? More than one. So the characters in string, the characters inside string organized in which order? Sequential order. Organized in which order? Sequential order. str class is used to represent which object? String object. And string is immutable or what? Constant. So string is immutable or it is what? Constant. Means once you create a string object, you cannot do any changes. Once you create a string object, you cannot do any changes, right? Then how to represent a string? How to represent a string? So integer is represented in how many formats? 4 formats, that is decimal, octal, hexadecimal, and binary. And float is represented in how many formats? 2 formats. One is fixed notation and one more is exponential. So complex number is having how many values? 2 values, real and imaginary. And Boolean is represented using 2 keywords. One is true, one more is false. And none value is represented using one keyword called none. Then how can you represent a string? How can you represent a string? How to represent string? So in Python, a string is represented. In Python, string is represented in 3 ways. In 3 ways here, 3 ways. One is you can represent within single quotes. You can represent within single quotes. A string is represented within single quotes, and string is represented within double quotes, and string is represented within single quotes. First one is within single quotes, second one is within double quotes, and third one is within three single quotes or double quotes. Within three single quotes or what? Double quotes. So how many ways can you represent the string? Three ways. First one is within single quotes, and second one is within double quotes. Third one is within three single quotes or three double quotes. Three single quotes or three double quotes. You can represent within three single quotes or three double quotes. So how many ways can you represent it here? Three ways. Within three single quotes, within three double quotes, within three single quotes or three double quotes. So these are the three ways you can represent what here? String. Okay, right. But in Python, there is no character data type. In Python, there is no character data type. Even single character also represented as what? String. Okay, even single character also represented as what? String. Okay, yes. For example, how can I represent it? Suppose within single quotes, what is the differences here? Within single quotes, so within single quotes, we can represent, okay, single line string, single line. Within single quotes, we can represent what? Single line string. Single line string or one line string, one line. Single line string or one line string. Within single quotes, we can represent single line or one line string, not multi-line, only one line. And within single quotes, we can insert, or embed. Okay, embed which one? Double quotes. Within single quotes, you can insert what? Double quotes. Okay, within single quotes, you can insert what? Double quotes. Within single quotes, you can insert what? Double quotes. What is the meaning of this is, for example, there is a str1, str1. Okay, or assume that name. Okay, name equal to, okay, suppose I want to represent student data. Roll number is 1. Roll number. What is the roll number of student? 1. The name of the student. How can I represent name of the student? Can I write name equal to Naresh? Can I write name equal to Naresh? Is it Naresh is a value? Is it Naresh is a value or identifier? Identifier. If I want to represent this Naresh as a value, I have to write in what? Single quotes. So here Naresh is a value, right? Naresh is a value of which type? String type. How you are representing a string within single quotes? How you are representing string within single quotes? Okay, then I'm saying fees. Okay, fees equal to some 4,000.0. Then I'm saying fee paid. Okay, fee paid equal to what is that? True. So if I'm saying type of roll number is a variable. Roll number is an object of which type? Integer type. Okay, roll number is an object of which type? Integer type. Name is an object of which type? String type. Okay, then fees is a type. Fees is an object of which type? Float type. And fee paid is an object of which type? Boolean type. It means in application development, you'll be using different types of data. In application development, you'll be using different types of data. So data can be a numeric or it can be a non-numeric. Data can be either numeric or it can be what? Non-numeric. So one is which type here? Integer type. So integer means numeric or not? Yes. Okay, Naresh is given within single quotes. And whatever you write within the single quotes, whatever you write within single quotes, it is treated as what? Whatever you write in the single quotes, it is treated as what? It is treated as which one? String. Okay, N is a character, A is a character, R is a character, E is a character, S is a character, and H is also character. Suppose if I'm writing some A equal to within single quotes, A equal to within single quotes some 65. Within single quotes, I write 65. Now tell me, is it 65 is an integer or string? String, because it is written in which one? Single quotes. Okay, if you write this 65 within the single quotes, then 65 is treated as which type? String type. Okay, if I'm writing B equal to within single quotes 1.5, okay, this 1.5 is actually which type? Float type, but I put inside which one? Single quotes, then it is of which type? String type. Can I do any arithmetic on this? No. I can divide numbers, but I cannot divide strings. I can divide the numbers, but I cannot divide which one? Strings. Okay, C equal to within single quotes, if I write 1 plus 2j, actually what is 1 plus 2j here? What is 1 plus 2j here? Complex number. But this value is represented in what? Single quotes. And if you write this in single quotes, then it is treated as what now? String. Okay, in the same way, if I'm writing D equal to within single quotes, if I write true, but actually true is which value? Boolean value, but it is put inside what? Single quotes, then it is treated as string. It is treated as what? String. Now you can just see type of A, okay, type of A, type of B, okay, type of C, and type of which one? D. Now all these are which types here? String types. If you write anything in single quotes, if you write anything in single quotes, that is treated as what? String only. Even if you are writing integer within single quotes, it is a string. Even if you are writing float in single quotes, it is what? String only. Complex number in single quotes, it is a string. And Boolean also, if you are writing in single quotes, it is not treated as a Boolean. It is treated as what? String. It is treated as a string. Okay. Yes. String you can write within single quotes. But within single quotes, you can write a string. For example, if I'm writing str1, okay, within single quotes, I can insert. Within single quotes, I cannot insert single quotes. Okay, within single quotes, I cannot insert what? Single quotes. Within single quotes, I can able to insert what? Double quotes. So Python is, okay, Python is, I want to insert a double quote saying simple. Simple language. Python is simple language. Now here, this is the beginning of the string. Okay, this is the beginning of the string, and this is what here? End of the string. So single quotes is at the beginning. Now this is the beginning of the string, and this is what here? End of the string. And within this, I try to insert what here? Double quotes. If you print this, if you print str1, if you print str1, what is the value of str1? Python is what here? Simple language. That will see in operators here, please. That will see in operators. Okay. Okay. That will see in operators. Okay. So go in sequence. Don't learn randomly. Don't learn randomly. Okay. So there is one way of learning subject. There's one way of learning subject. Okay. So don't ask the things like random questions. If you know already Python, just listen. Okay. Right. Don't ask questions like random questions and don't divert the topic. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. Now there is a string one. So within single quotes, now this is the beginning of the string and this is what here? End of the string. and within this or inside this, I try to insert which one? Double quotes, because I want this simple in double quotes. I want this simple in what here? Double quotes. But is it possible to insert? Is it possible to insert? For example, Python is, I want to insert single quotes. Can I write Python is simple, single quotes, and then language? No. So why? Because now this is a beginning of the string. Okay, this is a beginning of the string, and this is what here? End of the string. Now here string is end here. String is end. Then what this is it? Is it this rest of the thing is a part of the string or outside the string? Outside the string. Then it gives an error or not? Yes, it gives which error here? Syntax error. It means within single quotes you cannot able to insert what? Single quotes. Within single quotes you cannot able to insert what? Single quotes. It means within single quotes you can able to insert which one? Double quotes. Getting or not? Okay, so you can use single quotes when you want to insert which one? Double quotes. But it is used to represent single line string. Means str3 equal to Python. Can I press enter and write another line? Can I press enter and write another line? Can I press enter and write another line? No, I cannot write it, because single quotes is used to represent one line string or multi-line string. One line. If I press enter, immediately again it is given what? Error. Saying that end of line while scanning which one? String literal. So within single quotes I can represent which string? Single line string. Within single quotes I can represent which string? Single line, not multi-line. It is used for representing single line. Ring honor. So just try to understand this. Okay. So within single quotes you can embed only double quotes, and within single quotes you can represent single line string. Single line string. Okay. Yes. And string is immutable. So means once the string is created, you cannot do any changes. Okay. So there is one more. There's one more which is called as you can represent a string in double quotes. You can represent a string in single quotes. You can represent a string in what? Double quotes. Double quotes. So within double quotes, we can represent single line string again. Within double quotes also you can represent what? Single line string. And within double quotes, we can insert. Within double quotes we can insert what? Within double quotes we can insert what? Single quotes. Within single quotes you can insert what? Double quotes. Within double quotes you can insert what? Single quotes. It means if you want to insert a single quotes within the string, you represent that string in what? Double quotes. If you want to insert a single quotes within the string, then you try to represent that in what? Double quotes. So within double quotes we can insert what? Single quotes, and within double quotes we can represent single line string. Within double quotes we can represent single line string, and within double quotes we can insert what? Single quotes. Within double quotes we can insert what? Single quotes. Okay, single quotes, but it is used to represent only single line string. What is this here? There is a string 1. Assume that within double quotes, I'm saying, suppose assume that there is a roll number. Roll number is 1. Name equal to double quotes. Within double quotes, I'm saying nourish. And course equal to within double quotes. I read what? Java. Okay. Within double quotes Java. And then I just write some section equal to which one? A section. Okay, it means name is of which type here? String. And course is of which type here? String. And section is also of which type here? String. But roll number is of which type here? Integer. Now you should know when to represent a string. Okay, string data. Now, if I say type of roll number is which type? Integer type. Name is which type? String type. Course is which type? String type. Section is which type? String type. Either it is one character or more than one character. Okay, suppose I'm trying to say, okay, suppose assume that S1 equal to within double quotes. Within double quotes, I'm saying Python is a Python is within single quotes. I want to represent easy language. Python is easy language. So here, this is the beginning of the string. This is the beginning of the string, and this is what here end of the string. But within beginning of the string and end of the string, I try to insert what here? Single quote. Within the double quotes, I try to insert which one here? Single quotes. But within single quotes, I cannot insert what? Single quotes. Within single quotes, I cannot insert what? Single quotes. But within double quotes, I can insert what? Single quotes. Single quotes. Now print S1. What is the value of S1? Python is a, this is easy language. Okay, so within single quotes, I cannot insert single quotes, but within single quotes, I can able to insert what? Double quotes. And within double quotes, I can able to insert what? Single quotes. Okay, so I said the string can be either alphabetic string or it can be alphanumeric string. Alphabetic string means which contain only alphabets. Which contain only alphabets. Okay, suppose player name. Okay, assume that player name. Okay, assume that player name. So player name is some Rahul. Okay, player name, and then I'm saying player score. Player name is Rahul and player score is some 100. So this is the name of the player and this is what? Score of the player. Okay, this is a name and this is what here? Score. Okay, so match. I just write here match. Okay, okay, test one. I said test one. So test one means, what is this test one? Whatever you write in the double quotes, it is what here? String. But within the string, you have alphabets and what? Digit. Okay, within double quotes, you have alphabets as well as what? Digit. Now this test is what here? Alphabet and one is a digit. Now this string is called which string? Alphanumeric string. This is called alphanumeric and this is called alphabetic. This is alphabetic and this is what here? Alphanumeric. 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 Okay. So a string can be alphabetic string or it can be alphanumeric. The string may contain some special characters also. The string may contain what? Special characters also. Okay, I'm writing ABC dollar. I said ABC dollar. Now, what is ABC here? Alphabets. And what is this dollar? Is it a special character or not? Yes. This is also called as one string or not? Yes. So a string might be alphabetic string or alphanumeric string, or which contain alphabets, digits, and what is that? Special characters. Okay. Yes. But I can represent only one line string. If I'm writing S2 equal to within double quotes, okay, Python, can I press enter and continue? Can I press enter and continue? Can I write multi-line string in double quotes? No, I cannot write multi-line string in double quotes. I cannot write multi-line string in what? Double quotes. If I'm trying to write multi-line string in double quotes, so it is given which error? Syntax error. So I can represent only a string consists of one line. I can represent a string which consists of only one line. I can represent a string which consists of only one line. Okay. Then next is triple single quotes or double quotes. Okay. Triple single quotes or double quotes. So using triple single quotes, Using triple single quotes or double quotes, okay, we can represent multi-line string, multi-line string, multi-line string. We can represent multi-line string either in three single quotes, either in three single quotes, either in three double quotes, either in three single quotes, either in three double quotes, either in three single quotes, either in three double quotes. Multi-line string. Now, sometimes it is required in application development. It is required to represent multi-line string. It is required to represent what here? Multi-line string. Multi-line. Okay. Yes. How you are writing it? For example, suppose. Okay, assume that a simple example. If you take it, suppose assume that there is a roll number 101. Okay, there is a name of the student. Okay, name of the student is some Suresh, and the course of the student is Java. Okay, then what I'm doing is I try to put some remarks. I want to put some remarks. Now, remarks can be either in one line. Remarks can be either in one line, or the remarks can be either in what? Multiple lines. Remarks can be either in one line, or remarks can be either in what? Multiple lines. How can I write a string in multiple lines? Writing in three single quotes or three double quotes. Three single quotes means you have to use three single quotes. You don't find three single quotes on the keyboard. You have to press three times single quotes. Okay. So three single quotes. Okay. So I just write some remarks. Okay. So the student is okay. So very, very bad in writing which one? Logics. Very bad in logics, and always sleep in the class. Okay, always sleep in the class. Okay, now this is a remarks, and then I'll try to close. Now this is beginning of the string, and this is what here? End of the string. Okay, this student is very bad in writing logics and always sleep in the class. So this is a beginning of the string, and this is what here? End of the string. Okay, now I try to print. What I'm printing here? Roll number. Okay, I'm trying to print which one? Name. But remarks is written in how many lines here? 2 lines. And there is a course. And there is also which one? Remarks. Now these are the remarks, but it is having how many lines here? 2 lines. But even I can represent these 2 lines in 3 double quotes also. I can represent this through 2 lines in 3 double quotes also. 3 double quotes. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now 3 double quotes. So Python is okay, simple. Python is simple. Okay, Python is simple, object oriented, multi-paradigm, fully loaded programming language. Fully loaded programming language. Okay. So how many lines? How many lines of string it is? Is it one line or multiple lines? Multiple lines. Now this is the first line. This is a second line. This is third line. This is what here? Fourth line. Then I try to print str1. So Python is simple, object oriented, multi-paradigm, fully loaded programming language. So if you want to write multi-line string, you can write multi-line string writing in 3 single quotes or 3 double quotes. 3 single quotes or 3 double quotes. Okay. You don't find any difference writing in 3 single quotes or 3 double quotes. But generally, in Python, triple quotes, it is used for representing multi-line string, and in Python, triple quotes are used. Triple quotes are used to represent doc string. Okay, in Python, triple quotes are used to represent what here? Doc string. Doc means what here? Documentation. You represent a documentation. You represent a documentation, and you are representing a documentation. You are representing a documentation. Okay. But how you are representing a documentation? You are representing a documentation. They're writing in 3 single quotes. You are representing a documentation either by writing either in 3 single quotes or in 3 double quotes. 3 single quotes or 3 double quotes. Getting or not? Okay, just try to understand. But we'll see. Doc string is a separate topic. Okay, documentation is because while developing project, you also provide documentation. In your program, you also provide documentation about whatever you write in your program. We'll discuss about how to provide a documentation within the program, and how can you create a documentation for each and every program. That we'll discuss, right? This is which data type now? String data type. Okay, now these are the basic data types which you required in order to write a program in what? Python. Okay, so how many numeric data types? Now tell me here, how many numeric data types? How many numeric data types are there in Python? 1, 2, 3. What is that? Integer. Second one is float. Third one is complex. Okay. So, and what is a non-numeric? What are the non-numeric data types? What is the first one? Non-numerics are what? First one is what? Boolean. Second one is Boolean is the second one is none, and third one is string. Okay, non-numeric. If you want to represent numbers, you can use integer, float, and complex. If you want to represent Boolean value, you can use which data type? Boolean type. Or if you want to represent empty value, you are using which one? None. If you want to represent a string, then you are using which data type? String data type. Why I'm saying it is a non-numeric? Because this cannot be used to perform which operation? Arithmetic operations. Okay, arithmetics. Because of that, I said here it is a non-numerics, right? Okay, then next we'll talk about like how to work with some input and output functions. Next, we'll see how to work with input and output statements, or what is that? Functions. Input and output statements, or what is that? Functions. So every program required input, every program required input, process, and one more is what? Output. Getting on or not? So every program required input, process, and output. Suppose sometimes they ask you like write a program to output your name. Write a program to print your name. Write a program to print your name. How you write a program? You write a program in Python like this. Go to where? Go to where? File, and select what? New file. Go to file and select a new file. Write a program to print your name. Can you write directly? Can you say directly name? Can you write directly name? If you run this, if you directly give the name, and if you run this, if you directly give the name and if you run this, what will happen? What will happen? Is it gives an error or not? Yes. What is that error? Invalid syntax. Can I write directly this in string? Is it name is a string or not? Yes. if I'm writing in single double quotes, and if I run this, will it print it? If I run this, will it print it? Will it print? Will it print or doesn't print? If I run this program, will it print or not print? Not print. It will not print. It will not print. It is a program. It is not shell. Shell is what? ID. Shell is what? REPL. REPL means read, evaluate, and print. Okay, if I'm writing anything here, suppose if I'm writing in shell, if I'm writing my name like this, it will read, evaluate, and print also. It will print also. It will read as well as print. But in program, if I'm writing, will it read and print it? No. Then if I want to print it, I should use one function or not? Yes. What is the function I should use? Print. Okay, what I have to use here? Function. What is the name of the function I'm using? Print. I'm using one function called print. And if I run this, what is the output of this? My name. Reading or not? So in interactive mode is nothing but working with a Python shell. The job of shell is why I'm not using a print in shell. Why I'm not using a print in shell? If I say 10, is it 10 will be read and print or not? Yes. If I say 20, 20 will read and print it or not? Yes. If I say 10 plus 20, it will evaluate and print it or not? Yes. But in this case, if I'm writing 10 plus 20, will it evaluate and print it? No. Because whenever you are writing a program, your program is not executed by, your program is executed by, not by the shell. Your program is executed by Python virtual machine. You have to tell what has to be printed, what output has to be printed. Then I'm using one function here. What is that function I'm using? Print. If I don't say print in my program doesn't print it. If I write only 10 plus 20, there's no output. But if I want the output, I should tell the Python, okay, print this result by using which function? Print function. So print is which function now? Input function or output function? Output function. Print is the output function. Okay, print is which function here? Output function. So in a programming mode, if you want to print anything, you can print it by using which function? Print function. But in interactive mode, you don't require to use a print. Why? Because your shell is having a property called that is read, evaluate, and print. You don't require to use any statement called which one? Print. Right? Okay. So we'll talk about this input and output statements or functions in the next class. Right? And that is on Monday. We'll see that. Okay. So today we'll stop it here and Monday we'll continue this. Right? Thank you. There's no class tomorrow. Tomorrow, no class. Monday we'll have the class. Right? Thank you.